Welcome back to the channel. Make sure to subscribe for more fascinating stories. When we talk about the Persian Empire, most people immediately think of the Greco-Persian Wars in the 5th century BCE or Alexander the Great's conquest in the 4th century. That's mostly because of Hollywood movies, yes. The Greek city-states famously defeated Persia, and Alexander went on to conquer it. This often leaves the impression that the Persian Empire was just a stepping stone for Greek greatness. But there's so much more to the story. What many don't realize is that the Persian Empire was the first in human history to span 3 continents: Asia, Europe, and Africa. It also pioneered a system of empire governance that became the model for future world empires. In this episode, we're piecing together the story of this incredible and influential civilization. Let's go back in time, down to 1,000 years before the Common Era. Civilizations like the Sumerians and Akkadians thrived in Mesopotamia. At the same time, Aryan peoples began migrating in from Central Asia. 2 tribes stood out, the Medes and the Persians. While the Assyrian Empire was at its peak, many Aryan tribes submitted to their rule. But when Assyria weakened, the Medes joined forces with the Babylonians and overthrew Assyria in the year 612. Meanwhile, the Persians didn't want to be ruled by the Medes. Around 700 BCE, they moved east and settled north of the Zagros Mountains. They founded a small kingdom named after their ancestor Achaemenids. That's why the Persian Empire is also known as the Achaemenid Empire. At first, the kingdom was split into 2 parts, Anshan and Pas. In 559 BCE, Cyrus II, also known as Cyrus the Great, came to power. He united Anshan and Pas, and that marked the beginning of the Persian Empire, under Cyrus's leadership. The empire expanded in all directions in the east. He conquered regions stretching all the way to northern India. He built border cities, one of which still exists today in Tajikistan. In the west, he conquered Lydia and Babylon, bringing most of Asia Minor under Persian control. Now, you might expect Cyrus to have ruled with an iron fist, but he wasn't a tyrant. Quite the opposite. In fact, Cyrus is widely considered one of the most respected ancient rulers in history. He forbade looting. He preserved local traditions and religions. He even freed enslaved peoples, including the Jews in Babylon. Conquered kings were allowed to live in comfort, and many cities welcomed him as a liberator. The Greeks admired him, too. Herodotus called him a merciful father. Xenophon called him a model ruler. Even Alexander the Great saw Cyrus as his role model. But no one wins forever. While fighting a nomadic tribe called the Massagei, Cyrus was killed in battle by their queen, Tomyris. She defeated his army, cut off his head, and, according to legend, submerged it in blood. Cyrus died in 530 BCE. His son, Cambyses II, took the throne next. Cambyses focused on expanding westward into Egypt in 525 BCE, with help from Arab allies. He crossed the Sinai Desert and launched an assault on Egypt, according to legend. The Persians tied cats to their shields because Egyptians considered cats sacred. The Egyptians surrendered rather than risk harming them. Cambyses succeeded in conquering Egypt. But unlike his father, he ruled with little respect or compassion. Overconfident from his success, he launched a failed expedition into Nubia. Then, in 520 BCE, a man named Gormata pretended to be Cambyses' dead brother and started a rebellion. Cambyses rushed back, but died from a leg injury before he could reclaim the throne. This opened the door for Darius I, later known as Darius the Great. He came from a side branch of the royal family and claimed the throne after crushing Gormata's revolt, over the next years. He put down more than a dozen rebellions and restored order to the empire. Darius then expanded Persian territory into Europe, conquering Thrace and the Black Sea coast. Now the Persian Empire covered parts of Asia, Africa, and Europe. But how do you govern such a massive empire? That's where Darius's genius came in. He divided the empire into 20 provinces, called satrapies. Each was ruled by a governor or satrap. Satraps collected taxes, maintained order, and managed both civil and military affairs, but their power was limited. Darius separated financial, military, and administrative authority, so no single person could hold too much control. He also sent out royal inspectors, known as the King's Eyes, to keep tabs on local officials. This balance of local autonomy and central oversight became the blueprint for future empires. Each province could retain its own laws, customs, and religions. Taxes were tailored to local economies. Some provinces paid in silver, others in livestock or goods. Even official documents were produced in multiple languages to reflect the empire's cultural diversity. Under Darius, Persia reached its peak. He truly earned the title Darius the Great. But like Cyrus, Darius stumbled in his final years. In 490 BC, he tried to invade Greece, but a storm destroyed his fleet. In 490 BC, he tried again, only to be defeated at the Battle of Marathon. Darius died in 485, still planning another campaign. His son Xerxes inherited both the throne and the war. In 480 BC, Xerxes launched the largest invasion of Greece yet. He even burned Athens, though it had been evacuated. But Persian victories were short-lived. The navy was defeated at Salamis, and the army was crushed at Plataea. The dream of conquering Greece died there, though the empire survived. It began to fracture. Rebellions became frequent. Court politics turned deadly. Kings were killed by their brothers, sons, and even palace officials. One of the worst power struggles came after Artaxerxes I died. His sons and brothers killed each other in a cycle of violence. Even when peace returned, the empire was weakened. By the time Darius III came to power, he faced a new threat, Alexander the Great. Darius fought valiantly, but lost every battle. In 330 BC, he was killed in a coup, and with him, the Persian Empire fell. But its legacy endured. The Persian Empire created the template for governing a diverse and vast population. It combined military strength with religious tolerance, regional autonomy with central authority. Its architecture, art, and religious ideas influenced cultures across the ancient world. The capital city of Persepolis still inspires awe, and Zoroastrian beliefs echoed into Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Though often painted as villains in Greek stories, the Persian Empire's true story is one of innovation, tolerance, and vision. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more timeless stories.